In the last year, I managed to grow my Instagram account from 50,000 followers to 68,000 followers. And I would say pretty much like 98% of that has come from photo carousel posts. Growing on Instagram from photos is something I never would have thought I'd say in 2026, especially after the last couple of years of how it's gone. It is no secret that it has become extremely difficult to grow on Instagram. Now, before this growth came a lot of trial and error and just testing different formats of posts on Instagram. You can't really just post a nice looking image anymore and expect for the algorithm to take it and show it to millions of people and you gain thousands of followers. It doesn't really work like that anymore. Now, I'm not saying it can't. It definitely can happen. I've seen lots of people grow by thousands of followers from one photo post, literally just a single photo. It's just very hard to do nowadays compared to say like 5 years ago. When I realized this, it was closer to the end of 2024 and it made me start thinking about my photo posts more like videos. And what I mean by this is when you watch video content or like content about how to grow from videos, pretty much everyone says you need a strong hook. You need to hook your viewer into watching the rest of your video. And I started thinking about my photo posts in the same way. I had to start thinking of ways to get people to stop scrolling. And with a video, it's a little bit easier because immediately there's moving parts. But with a photo, it's static, so there's nothing moving. So how do you get them to stop scrolling? So I started posting these carousel posts where I just basically put like a block of text on the first photo in the carousel. And this is what acted as my hook. It gets people to stop scrolling and just read. And if you can get them to read that first photo in the carousel, then they're probably going to be a little bit interested into what the rest of the photos are. So they'll swipe through. And then if you do that, the algorithm's going to help you out from there. It's such a simple format, but it really has been working for me. Over the span of about a year, so basically from September 2024 to September 2025, I started testing different ways I could utilize this like format, this hook. It was mostly posts with writing about where I'm from or showing the camera first or like the focal length I'm using or like a specific location. Now I do want to note all the photos in the post would follow a theme. I wasn't just posting a batch of random photos. There was intent behind it. So it could be photos, maybe they were all taken with like a specific lens or a specific camera, or they were taken at the same location, or maybe it's like a season. So if it was all taken in winter or fall or whatever it is. But try to follow a theme and be intentional about the carousel post. I took all these posts that I made over that year, so from September 2024 to September 2025, and I basically just looked at all the insights. And that's a lot of posts to be made over a year, so I had a lot of data to go off of. What I realized is the posts where I basically hook people in with like a little write-up about Newfoundland, which is the island I'm from, they performed well. They got likes and shares and some comments, but I wasn't getting that many followers from them. Like I would have a post where it was like 4,000 likes and maybe like 50 followers that I gained from it. Whereas if I posted a carousel where the first post was, or the first photo was me holding my camera or something, or it was like to do with the focal length, I would get like around the same kind of likes and comments and stuff, but I would get hundreds of follows compared to just like 50. And also, I found the comments were a bit more intentional. As opposed to just like beautiful photos or a fire emoji, I was getting people commenting real questions. You know, they were asking about the camera gear or how I edit my photos or what lens I was using. So they felt more intentional. When I realized this, it clicked that because I'm from Newfoundland, it's a bit of a smaller population in size. So I'm kind of capped at the number of people I can reach with that kind of content where I'm specifically targeting like people interested in Newfoundland. Whereas when I'm targeting just a more general broad niche like photography and camera gear in general, I can reach way more people with that. I also came to the realization I think this works better and gets more followers because when I'm on the explore page, I don't know about you, but I always click on things where I can see just like camera gear on the explore page as like that cover. Whereas just like a general landscape photo, I'm honestly probably not going to click on it because there's so many just landscape photos out there that if it looks nice, yeah, sweet, I might click on it, but I'm most likely going to click on the photo of camera gear. And I don't know why, it's just that's the way it is, and that's what I realized. After realizing this, it was about October of 2025, I decided I was going to double down on posting those carousels where I show the camera first. And the results have been kind of crazy. Since October, I've gained about 10,000 followers alone. And this is just from photo posts pretty much. I've posted maybe like 6 reels since October and I've maybe gained like 200 followers. So not only have I been able to increase my following, but I feel like I'm actually building more of a community than I ever was before. More people are actually sending me messages now, like having proper conversations, and their comments are a lot more intentional, like I said before, where they're actually commenting to kind of start a conversation, not just tell me that my photos look nice. I mean, I still get a lot of that and everyone always will, but there's a lot more comments where there's a conversation being had back and forth about maybe like the camera gear that I use or how I edit my photos. And to me, that intent of engagement and that like community building aspect is way more important than a follower count. It just happens to be kind of a byproduct of the followers that I've been building. Also as a bonus, because I guess I'm like more focused on camera gear now, like I'm actually showing the camera gear, I've had way more brands reach out than ever before. More specifically like camera brands like lenses or filters, bags, stuff like that. So that's just kind of like a fun little bonus. It's a win-win. Now I'm planning on keeping this momentum going with these camera posts because clearly it's working. But I also want to try leaning into like showing myself and my story a little bit more as well. When testing different formats, I shared a photo carousel where the first image was basically just like a picture of me with a little blurb about myself and a bit about my story. And this did extremely well and gained me thousands of followers. So one thing I want to try leaning into more in 2026 is some of this. So just like sharing my story a bit more and just showing myself, showing face a bit more on Instagram as well. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, well then I'll ditch it. Simple as that. I highly encourage you guys to try this method of posts. Like seriously, steal my ideas. Go to my Instagram page, look at what I'm posting and just copy it. Because it's been working for me, and if it works for someone else, that's even better. There's no gatekeeping around here. If it works for me, I'm gonna share it with you guys. So all you have to do is take the first image in your carousel post, throw a bit of text on it, and then be intentional about what you're sharing. Like I said before, have it follow a theme, but it's clearly working. So I want you guys to try it as well. And I really do hope it works for you guys. Also, I would just like to note that I use Photoshop to create all these like cover images. So I've been using Photoshop for years, but if you guys don't have Photoshop, or maybe you're not really like comfortable using Photoshop, there's lots of programs out there that you can just throw text on an image. Canva's probably the easiest one to download. And you can just do this in like the free version as well. So you have no excuse not to try it now. As always, thank you guys for watching and following along, and I will catch you in the next one.